Welcome to We Time Convo. I'm Liza, and I'm here with my co-host, Debbie. Together, we are diving into the real, raw conversations about cutting ties, specifically with family and friends. Whether it's blocking, ghosting, or setting firm boundaries, we're unpacking what it means to protect your peace when the people closest to you cross the line. No shame, no sugarcoating, just honest talk about choosing yourself, even when it's hard.
Liza, you're Filipino, just like me. Some of the things that happen in a Filipino family is just normal.
Yeah.
But it's so not.
Like when you think about it from the outside looking in, you're like, that's kind of toxic.
That's very toxic, right?
Yeah.
Like there is no filter. And, it's like an aunt can literally like, oh, look at you. You got fat.
Yeah.
Or like, you don't look good.
Yeah.
Like straight up.
Yeah.
But in a Filipino family, it's like normal to hear that.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And it's like,
everyone is judging. Everybody judges.
And you're pissed off. Yeah. And then you tell your mom or, your mom that she pissed you off. Like this person pissed you off. This aunt pissed you off. And I was like, it's ignore it. Just move on.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Yeah. Tomorrow's a new day.
Yes. So like in the Filipino culture, I think there's a lot of toxicity that we just consider normal.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind.
And I honestly think that's why I'm so like mentally, seriously.
Because of this normal, like.
But at the same time, I actually embrace it because there's a lot of soft people out there that can't even handle criticism, that can't handle rejection. Like, I think it just really prepared me to be accepting of that stuff, right?
So I read this article of this Filipino chick, and she basically says, hey, I picked myself. And so I don't talk to anybody in my family anymore because they're just freaking toxic. And I just refuse to be in that environment. So she doesn't talk to anybody in her family.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. It's not easy. It's not easy to do.
Yeah. Okay. So in today's episode, we're talking about no contact. And what that refers to is the act of completely cutting off communication with a family member or a friend, essentially severing ties and choosing not to interact with them at all, often used when a relationship is deemed toxic or harmful to one's mental health. It means actively blocking them on all communication channels and refusing to engage with them in any way. Have you ever done this?
So I do have a personal experience. This person actually cut no contact with me.
What?
And I had no idea. I don't know till this day. I don't know why. So I had a best friend for years. We were friends since elementary school, essentially. We both, she has a daughter that's the same age as Ava, and we pretty much had them at the same time. Ava and her daughter were best friends. She was sick and had cancer for a little bit, and I helped her through that because she was a single mom as well. And one day, this was maybe, I want to say like maybe 5 years ago, one day I found out she unfriended me and blocked me on all social media.
Just one day randomly?
Yeah, one day randomly.
Like you don't recall you and her having a conversation or argument? Or
I do not. I don't remember anything that I did. So she unfriended me, blocked me on social media, blocked me on text message because I tried calling her, I tried texting her, and I just never heard from her ever again. And to this day, it eats me up inside because I want to at least know why. I want an explanation.
Like what happened?
What happened, what I did, what I said. And I feel like as somebody that overthinks, I replay every single conversation that we had ever. And if it was anything that I even like remotely said that bothered her, it was nothing to be so serious as to just cut me off.
Did you even try to like go over to her house and say like...
I didn't just because her unfriending me and
it was very clear she didn't want anything to do with you.
And blocking me like said it all, right?
But did you hear from mutual friends like what happened?
No, she actually blocked because she grew close with a lot of my family. She had blocked and unfriended my family. Like anybody that had to do with me, she unfriended and blocked as well.
Wow.
So I mean, till this day, I don't know why or, why she did it. I do truly believe that she did it for a reason and I don't know, but I feel like somebody that is going no contact with a family member or friend, should at least tell you, why they're doing it. Like,
absolutely.
Give you the courtesy of like, hey, I didn't like that you said this. I don't like that you did this. I'm going no contact from you for my own mental health. Right. Yes. So, I mean, till this day, it really does still hurt my feelings because she was a dear and close friend to me. And I loved her daughter like she was my own. I can't wrap my head around that. I can't either.
If you're so close to somebody, how you just make a decision and not have a conversation.
Yeah.
And for you, not knowing why, like maybe you could at least say, okay, I kind of know why, or I think this is why, but you not having a clue of why she did that.
And, I know that we're talking about family and friends, but I've had instances where I've had to go no contact with people that I was dating, but I had the courtesy of saying, hey,
this is the situation.
Yeah. And I'm going to block you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go no contact because this is what I need to do for me to move on.
Wow.
Personally, and since she did that, I'm like, I cannot fathom ever doing that to anybody, she just ghosted me and left. But yeah, that's my situation. Have you gone through anything like that personally?
So if I have, I don't know. and here's the wild thing. I don't think I've ever really had that with someone so if somebody did a no contact to me, I honestly, it didn't resonate with me.
Well, and they obviously weren't important to you.
Yeah. So it didn't resonate with me. It was more of like, okay, because again, you have people in your life, they come and go. And so I always attribute it to our life is just different. And, time, situations change. We just move on and we drift. So I don't for me, if I've never done a no contact with somebody. So if anybody is out there thinking that Debbie did a no contact, no, I did not. I did not consciously make that decision. For me, it would be more of, like I said, we've, situations change, we drift apart, but I did not consciously say, hey, I don't want contact with you. Now, that's not to say there are some people that I probably should be doing no contact. But because back again, there are some situations where I'm like, you know what, this is so not healthy. But I don't do the straight no contact. I just kind of minimize our interaction. And honestly, if something really bothers me about somebody I care about, I'll just address it because I care about you. So I still want you in my life. So let's figure out how to work this out.
Right.
So.
And, I'm a very forgiving person. I do believe in no contact. But for me, if I ever go no contact or I do decide that I want to do that with somebody, it's never forever. Unless you literally personally did something to me or killed somebody in my family or just something that's very unforgivable. But I'm a very forgiving person. So I've had times where I've gone no contact with people and then kind of healed and then reached out and said, hey, how are you? Kind of thing. So, I mean, why people do this? People might choose to go no contact due to experiences like emotional abuse, manipulation, constant negativity, or harmful behaviors from the other person.
That social media, that's a big thing. Because I don't know about you, but I don't pay attention to my number of followers.
I don't either.
So if somebody decides to unfollow me, I just don't know. But it's a big thing because when you talk to the younger generation, oh, she unfollowed me or he unfollowed me. And so they know something's up.
So here are some considerations, Debbie. So it depends on the severity of the situation, right? And it's important to assess the severity of the issues before deciding on going no contact and to consider seeking professional support if needed. So boundaries versus completely cutting off. There is a difference. Depending on the situation, setting firm boundaries with limited contact might be an alternative to complete no contact.
Communities online have developed their own lingo. For example, LC stands for low contact. VLC for very low contact, and NC for no contact. So in a Reddit forum, estranged adult child now have more than 40,000 members. Another group raised by narcissist is creeping towards 1 million.
Wow, that's a lot of people. So I going back to the boundaries thing, I'm assuming if you are setting boundaries versus completely cutting off, that would be low contact, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in my personal experience, and I've talked about this on other episodes, is my mom is like completely obsessed with me because she lives with me. She's obsessed with what I do in my life. When I, started going out and dating, when I became single, she just very questionable about what I'm doing with my life. And I had told my sister and my brother-in-law or her fiance about it, and they weren't happy with it. They're like, you're an adult. You should do you should do whatever you want. And so I think it came down to my sister wanting to have a conversation with my mom about the whole situation because I wasn't getting through to her. We weren't communicating what our needs were with each other because my mom is just stubborn as hell, and I'm stubborn too. So my sister had to go to my mom and said, "Mom, you really need to cut Liza some slack. You need to let her live her life. And if you continue doing this," she's like, "I'm not going to come visit you anymore. I'm not going to help you with like things that you need anymore." She
did that to let your mom know how serious it was.
Exactly. So she set the boundaries and she said, it's not that I'm going to cut you off completely, but she's like, I'm going to cut some things off because I don't think what you're doing is right. So she set the boundary, but then still had that low contact. So I think that's, like the lowest level of it. But, from going to even low contact to completely no contact in my situation with my friend, that it just, I can't, it's just mind blowing to me.
So when that happened with your friend, how long ago was that?
5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that was so recent.
Yeah. And till this day, I think about her and I think about her daughter almost every day. So
just, I'm so sorry, Liza. Yeah. Do you think that if you guys bumped into each other, like you would say something?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm a very forgiving person and I don't know what I did. But I also, as time comes, I come to the realization that, do I really want a friend like that in my life? That is really going to take something that I don't even remember saying or doing, that if it was something that I said or did very minute, is going to cut off our friendship and everything that I did, for her, like that, like with no explanation. She doesn't deserve to have access to me.
So in this situation, then obviously, if you're in a situation where there's emotional abuse, manipulation, constant negativity, or harmful behaviors, does any of that you think apply in your situation where she felt any of this?
I don't know. Absolutely not. And it just, I honestly don't know what I did or what I said for her to do that. So there could be something, internal going on with her mentally, something. I really don't know. And like I said, I come to the realization and I'm at peace with the fact that maybe this person wasn't meant to be in my life or isn't a good of a friend as I thought, And I wish her well, and I wish her the best of luck in her life, and I hope she's happy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I have not experienced the no contact, and I haven't purposely done a decision for no contact. And honestly, I don't know. It's just kind of like the way I was built, maybe, is like, there's going to be, like, to your point, there's going to be some level of abuse sometimes that you go through emotionally. Like I said, we grew up in a Filipino family. There's like the thing, manipulation, please. Like that is like,
my mom is a total narcissist for sure.
And then when we think about negativity, like, so all these things, right? And it's kind of sad to say, but like some of these things you just kind of accept. As part of like, and then it just kind of like, you kind of like deal with it. But I guess, yeah, like the no contact, I kind of get it. I kind of get it if like you make that decision. But I guess in some cases, like for me, I would, if I ever made a decision like that, I probably would just confront the person.
Yeah. I feel like it's a lot harder too with families because
you see them.
Or you'll have another family member trying to butt in or trying to,
But here's the thing. If you're trying to if you're going to like have no contact with a family member, you also like are probably like severing your ties with like a good chunk of that family.
Right.
In order for it to be really successful. Right.
Yeah.
Because what ends up happening is if you say, okay, only this person, but then when it comes into like a situation where both of you guys get invited, then you're like, you know what, I'm not going to go. And then now you leave like the people in the middle to pick sides. And that's tough too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard. I actually know somebody that her mom and her aunt, they're sisters. They haven't actually talked to each other for years, but she has a relationship with her mom, obviously, and she has a very close relationship with her aunt. So, I mean...
So she's in the middle.
She's in the middle. Yeah. So it made it really tough for her because, come Thanksgiving time, she's like, I really want to invite my aunt over, but
I can't.
I can't because my mom's going to be over.
Yes.
And she's been doing this for years, so I just can't.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You kind of have to make a decision if you decide to cut off somebody because you leave people in the middle and then now they're in a pickle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No contact. But I get it.
Yeah. I mean, for your own mental health and well-being, and it takes a lot to get to that point where you are going to go no contact with a family member or friend. Like, it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do. But I wanted to read this bit from a Reddit story about people going no contact with family members. So she says, it's the absolute worst at the beginning. You'll try to feel proud of yourself for drawing boundaries and doing right by yourself. And you should be. At the same time, you're grieving. It's a loss of your parent or other family, maybe a loss of a friend. You'll see all the milestones that people around you are hitting, new jobs, graduations, new houses, marriages, babies, and how excited their parents are for them. You're grieving that you won't get that. You're burying the hope that maybe your parent would have come around and been the parent you wanted or needed. My life, and this is the person that, wrote this Reddit story, my life is much better since I went no contact with my mother. Despite that, I recommend people consider it very carefully before they go no contact with someone. It's hard, but when it's right, it's absolutely worth it. Wow. So she had a toxic upbringing with her mom and she decided to go no contact with her.
I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah. That's hard. Like she mentioned, like her mom missed so many milestones of her kid's life,
But that's what I'm saying. Like when I read this article about this Filipino chick, she just like said, I'm just not doing it. I'm not putting my kids through that toxic, environment. Yeah. Because she recognized it was toxic and she just said, nope, it's going to end with me.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever do that. My family is toxic as hell, like I said. But I love my family. I can't imagine my life without that toxicity.
Well, isn't that the crazy part though? Right? It's like that has to be really, 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 really bad.
Yeah. It depends. Somebody like my friend, somebody can have that mindset of like, I'm done. And I'm walking away.
But I don't know. I can't grasp that no contact. Like I said, I've never made that decision. I think there's people that do the no contact because of some of the things that we truly say, yeah, it is abusive. Yeah, it's manipulative. Yeah, it's this. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like normal. right? Like you accept it because your family, there's no filter. That's just kind of the...
And it depends, like what Irene said, is it depends on the severity of the situation.
Correct.
Like if you, if
so
you were
I absolutely
abused,
agree. If you're sexually abused or if it's just like some crazy stuff, but I'm talking about like if it's a light, like my mom always freaking manipulates me.
Yeah.
But there's the other side to it too, right? Like she's very loving, she's very giving, she's very like, she cares.
Yeah.
But again, it does take a lot of strength to have a no contact, like consciously make that decision and actually just really do it.
Yeah. I mean, totally. I've done it before.
But you let them know.
I let them know. You guys let them know what you're doing and you're going no contact and why. And this is just a different situation for sure. It just depends on the severity of the person that you are going no contact with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some people, I don't know about you, and, a lot of people do the no contact because, it's been very tumultuous with our political landscape right now. And so like sometimes we all like say, let's just not talk about politics because people are just so passionate. So there's two things that people say, don't talk about religion, don't talk about politics, because you'll obviously get divided and it'll come to a very emotional no contact.
Yeah. I've had actually this recent election.
Yes.
I've actually had to, I didn't cut people off. I didn't no contact, but I did have to like mute their stories, just because, politically they were coming on like pretty strong and I didn't agree with a lot of the things, but it's kind of like out of sight, out of my mind. I'm not going to cut you off for being my friend, but I also don't want to see it.
Yes.
So, the beautiful thing about Instagram is you don't have to unfriend these people, but you can kind of hide their stories.
Yeah.
But I have actually known people that actually went no contact and completely cut people off because of that.
Well, I know stories of people who used to be really good friends and they talked about politics and they decided we are not friends anymore.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me. So it's funny because I used to work with somebody. She was the receptionist at my work and we were completely different on the political front. Mm-hmm. But once we found out that we were like different, we never talked about like politics. She never brought it up. I never brought it up. And like, she was one of my like really, really good friends, so it's
but you have like a different point of view when it comes to politics.
It's for me, it's like, okay, agree to disagree. No more. Let's not talk about it. But there's other people that feel very strongly about it and won't stop talking about it, So I think that's when push comes to shove. I think that's when people start going no contact and cutting people off. But yes, especially this recent election, I've had a few friends say that they've had to actually cut people off. And, a lot of it was family and friends. Is it extreme to me? Each to their own. I wouldn't cut people off and
just for their political view.
Yeah, just for their political. Like even our friend group, we're different.
Yes.
But true. It doesn't bother me because that's how you feel and that's how I feel. If you bring it into my life and try to change the way that I think, that's when I draw the line. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. No contact. I haven't made the decision yet. So, but not to say I might in the future.
Yeah. I feel like mentally, if that's what you need to do for yourself to heal, by all means do it. But do it the right way.
Let them know.
Let them know. Yeah, let them know this is what you're doing. If you have a timeline, give them a timeline. And that's it. Just go on with your merry little life and heal and do whatever you need to do for you.